What's going on, everybody? Evan and Jordan here at Battlehawk Armory, and today we are talking competition and range pistol sights. Additionally, we have a brand new product, the Vortex Defender XL, that we are going to stack up against its competitors and put it through its paces. All right, so we are out here today with a couple of pistols with some optics on them. So what we have today is most of the popular competition or large window kind of hobby optics out here. The Trijicon SRO has kind of been the king of the segment for a long time. What we have here is a 5 MOA variant of the SRO mounted up on this TTI Combat. So these have been kind of the king of the competition optic for a while, but they do come to the market at about $600, so they're a bit more on the expensive side. So what has picked up in popularity has been this Holosun 507 competition. So this is also a large window dot, but compared to the Trijicon SRO, this comes to the market at about $450. It also has a ton of different reticles. You can get it in red or green, and it also has the shake awake that the SRO does not. So this has been really popular on the market for a little while now, and also shares the same footprint as the SRO. A new contender kind of entered the fold here recently, which is the Vortex Defender ST. So this is kind of a standard size optic, starting to kind of get in that shake awake category and a little bit larger window and nicer glass. So these have been picking up in popularity for a little while. But what we are really out here for today is a brand new product on the market, which is the Vortex Defender XL. So this is a giant window. It is Leupold Delta Point or Romeo Pro, Sig Romeo Pro footprint compatible. Giant window, 5 MOA or 8 MOA options available. It does have the shake awake and all of the same features that are standard to any of the Vortex Defender line, just in a giant window package. So we're going to run all of these optics through their paces and kind of see what we think about them. We've got a fair amount of ammo ink out here today. We've got some 115 grain TMC and some 147 TMC. We're going to run all of these pistols through their paces and check these optics out. All right, so we're just kind of wrapping things up here at the range. We ran through a little over 300 rounds. We brought 300 and then we kind of dug into our personal stash a little bit because we were having a lot of fun with these large window competition style dots. So Jordan, why don't you start right here with the tried and true Trijicon SRO and kind of run us through what your thoughts were of the SRO.
Like Evan just said, I mean, this is the tried and true, kind of the OG competition optic. Huge window, but with that circle lens, I feel like you do still get a little bit of that fisheye edge distortion. But I think this is probably the dot I shot with the best. I don't know if that's due to the dot or the pistol that it's on, but this was probably my favorite setup today.
Yeah. So, you know, I kind of had some similar thoughts with the SRO. It's been around for a little while, so it was nothing really new to me. I've kind of had these feelings for a little while, but the dot itself is really crisp in the window. But just due to the shape of that lens, there is some edge distortion kind of going on there. So as you're panning left, right across the range, as you're kind of doing that dynamic shooting, target transitions and things like that, you do kind of notice some of that distortion as things enter and exit the lens. So not my personal favorite. The other thing I don't particularly like about this optic is that it doesn't have a shake awake feature. So you do need to turn it on and off every time you're, pulling it out of the bag and putting it back into the safe. So that's kind of our thoughts on the SRO. Why don't we move over to the new darling of the ball, the Holosun 507 comp. This is what everyone has kind of been moving over towards lately. So Jordan, why don't you run us through the 507 comp?
So this thing has a huge window, and that helps with a great clear sight picture, so you can pick up other targets very quickly. But I don't know that I'm necessarily a fan of the multi-reticle option from Holosun on a pistol sight as much as I would be, say, on a carbine. Just because, like today, you're kind of blowing out the dot a little bit. It was very large for me. I mean, my eyes aren't great in the first place, but that definitely doesn't help. I mean, you can change that and fix it, but that is my main gripe with that one. The dot is just not as clear for me.
Yeah, and so it's almost kind of the inverse of the Trijicon SRO. With the Holosun, the thing that I've noticed is that the glass seems to be a little bit better, although still not great versus the Trijicon, but the dot itself is really kind of fuzzy for me. The advantages of the 507 comp is you do have the shake awake now. It is a multi-reticle system. It is available in red or green, so whatever your personal preference is. And we have it set up today with the 8 MOA circle and the dot in the center. Because to me, the 2 MOA dot is too small. With the 8 MOA ring, it's so blurry, it looks just like one large dot. So that is the reticle that we were using. That's the one that I would use if this was my personal dot. But it's just not very clear. And honestly, probably my least favorite of the 4 that we had out here today. Yeah, so that was probably our least favorite. And then, I would say Trijicon was probably, 3rd place for me. So why don't we go to what I think that we're both going to agree is kind of 2nd place. With the Defender ST from Vortex.
So to me, this is a little bit of the best of both worlds. You have very clear glass, quite a large window, not quite as large as the one we're going to get to next, but a very large window, so it's very easy to transition targets, pick up a new target. The dot, I would say, is probably the clearest one we have out of the 4. Well, out of the 3, I guess. Both Vortexes are equally clear, I'd say. Yeah, this is a great setup. If you want something that's a little bit in between, not quite a monster like the XL or the 507 comp, but still want something that would do very well on a competitive range, but you could also potentially carry it if you needed to.
Yeah, absolutely. I would pretty much agree with everything Jordan said. This is a really cool dot. It's been out for about a month now, maybe a little bit more, but it is a 6 MOA dot, so I do like just that single dot in there. The lens itself looks really good. They are using an aspherical lens, so it's kind of a newer lens technology. So the glass looks really good. The dot is pretty crisp. It's not necessarily Trijicon clear, but it is coming in at a much lower price point, and it is kind of that multi-use size. So it's that, you could shoot it at the range, you could carry it, you could use it for home defense. Pretty big fan of the Defender ST here. However, that being 2nd place for us both, I think that we would both agree that the brand new Defender XL was the clear winner today. Yep. So Jordan, why don't you kind of run us through what your thoughts were on that brand new Vortex?
So everything I said about the ST, but a little bit bigger and better, I guess. Looking through that window looks like you're looking through a window in your house, basically. I mean, it's huge. You can see everything. Like I said, the dot is very clear. The glass, incredibly clear. I mean, the biggest problem we had with it today was gas coming back and covering up the lens a little bit, but that's no fault of the Defender.
Yeah, so, basically looking at the 4 kind of optics that we had out here today, the Defender XL was our clear favorite. The brand new lens and coating that they're using is really clear, and it's a gigantic window. There's very minimal distortion or tint to that lens. The dot is a 5 MOA in this version, which we do like. It's also going to be available in an 8 MOA. It does have the shake awake feature, the auto on off, so it does its own battery management. It's a very durable housing. It's compatible with some of the footprints that are already on the market, so it can drop right on to P320 or a lot of other handguns that are already out there and cut for optics. So if you're looking for a new competition optic or just something for fun for plinking at the range, these are coming to the market at a really reasonable price. They're loaded with features, they're a huge window, and I think it's going to be a really good seller, really great option in the marketplace.
I think with the XL versus the ST, you just get to enjoy the new features that Vortex has put into this a little bit more.
Absolutely.
The only thing is I wouldn't want to really carry this around, but that's not really what it's for.
Right, absolutely.
Back at the office at Battlehawk, here with Evan once again, and he's going to give us a little rundown on the contents of the Defender XL.
All right, so yep, thanks Jordan. We do have a couple of the brand new Defenders on the table here. Mounted up on the VP9 is that Defender ST that we were shooting, and we do have the Defender XL in 5 MOA, and we just got our shipment of Defender XLs in the 8 MOA as well. So we're just going to run through really quick some of the tech specs and features of this optic. So right out of the gate, obviously the first thing in the package is going to be the Defender XL itself. It does already come mounted on a pick mount, so it's ready to go on any type of firearm with a pick rail right out of the box. Beyond that, the actual optic, as you can obviously see here, you can get it in a 5 or an 8 MOA. It does have a hard coat aspherical lens for very minimal distortion, so it's a very good actual lens that's in there, and it does have this shock shield insert into the housing itself, along with this tough texture up front for racking the slide or anything else like that. Battery does load from the top, and it does use a Leupold Delta Point Pro footprint. So anything Leupold Delta Point, not just the footprint, but also the recoil bosses, this will drop right onto. Aside from that, in the package, you get a full array of screws for any of your standard pistol slides that are on the market. You've pretty much got a set of screws ready to go. And also for the Glock fans out there, we do have an improved Glock MOS plate for the Defender XL in the package. So you get the tools you need to install everything, you get the screws, so you have the hardware, you've got batteries, and you're basically ready to rock right out of the box. This optic does have a shake wake, which we kind of talked about at the range. We looked it up. It's got about 25,000 hours on setting 6, so it's definitely going to run for a super long time for you.
It's very nice that it comes with that Picatinny mount, because this is an optic big enough. I would even potentially put it on a railed rifle, like an AR-15. It's plenty big to do that. Also, one of the most frustrating things when getting a red dot is you get super excited about getting your red dot mounted and then realize you don't have a plate or screws, which is something, as long as you're within the range, you really don't have to worry about with the Defender XL, because they provide almost everything you will need.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got pretty much everything you need to be able to use this optic right out of the box on a rifle, on a handgun, tons of different options as far as what you can and can't do with this. And then just last couple things for me, honestly, one of the things that I really appreciated about this optic was when we were at the range and zeroing it, the actual clicks to adjust your elevation and windage were super tactile. You could hear them, you could feel them, so adjusting the sight to get it zeroed was pretty easy, in addition to the fact that it came with everything that we needed to be able to get it on some pistols and get running it right away, right out of the box. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope that you enjoyed what we were out here doing today. If you have any comments about any of these optics, any of these handguns, if you have anything that you'd like us to cover in the future, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. Make sure you're following the Instagram page. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we will see you next time.